Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining. Just going to wait another minute or so uh, just to get as many people on as we can, and then we'll start the presentation. Okay, we're about on time, so we'll make a start, and hopefully not too many people will miss too much. Thank you for joining. See a few familiar and a few new faces, so thanks for joining us today. Here today to talk to you about Windows 11 and getting ready for that and what that might look like for you. It's the first in a series of pieces of information that we want to give you via webinars and blogs and other things. So really just trying to help stir conversations, give you a little bit of insight there, and let you know we're here to help. Do some quick introductions. I'm Dan Hall. For those of you that don't know me already, I'm a technologist here at CAE, and I look after our cloud modern work and data center pillars. I've been here for 15 years and come through a lot of different technical roles in CAE. So been around the block, seen lots of different things, and hopefully means I can answer at least some of your questions and give some guidance. Here with me today is Miles. Miles, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thanks, Dan. Hi, everybody. My name is Miles Greenyer. I'm a cloud consultant here at CAE. I've been at CAE for several years now, held a number of different technical positions. In my current position, my main focus is to help deliver Microsoft Cloud solutions to our customers.
Brilliant. Thank you, Miles. Just for those, because there was a few new faces on there, so apologies for those of you that know us really well. Just wanted to quickly whiz through who are CA and what are we about, and I won't touch on every element there, but just wanted to let you know that look, we've been around a long time, and modern work, cloud, and things like Windows operating systems have been a part of a core technology stack for us the whole way through our growth there. We have some strategic relationships with some key vendors that help us deliver the breadth of technology across our customers. Some of them are mentioned there, some of our bigger ones, but not all of them. And obviously, as you can see there, Microsoft is one of the key vendors that we work with and support. We're of a size that helps us deliver solutions to lots of different customers at scale, and we're in a number of offices across the UK. We have our own in-house service desk, and there's kind of all of the badges and accreditations that you'd expect someone of our size to have there. In terms of Microsoft specifically, because that's what we're here for today, we have a really good breadth of capability in there, and some of those are listed in front of you there today, including things like lots of certifications and skills in the areas that we want to deliver to our customers, especially across modern work and cloud. Loads of in-house capabilities with technical resources, as well as a partner ecosystem that helps us with overflow and filling gaps on specific niche areas. Our managed service centre is built within our Hemel Hempstead head office, so that's all in-house UK 24/7, and we have over 100 cloud active customers there in our tier 1 direct relationship. Things to point out is that we have specialization and advanced specializations in areas that we want to talk to our customers about, so making sure that we're nice and focused in some specific areas. We're also a fast track ready partner, which in terms of what we're talking about today could be quite useful for you. So today we're here to talk about Windows 11, and there's a couple of areas that we kind of wanted to glance across really to try and give you some insight. Um, the elephant in the room, obviously, is there is a driving force towards Windows 11 with Windows 10 end of support coming next year, and we're going to talk about what that kind of looks like and how that feels. Introduce Windows 11 and some of the kind of key features there, and what options are there around upgrading or rolling out that technology. We have some recommendations on how you can kind of approach that, and then obviously we'll let you know how we can help you, or how we would expect other partners to help you in that process. So Windows 10 becomes end of life in October next year. So that gives obviously that's a key date to work towards. And there's some key reasons why that's important. And for those of you that have been in technology for a long time, you would have seen this kind of thing happen before. Windows 10 has been one of the most popular operating systems that Microsoft have released, and the adoption of that has been pretty widespread. So in October next year, what's going to happen is Windows 10 will become end of life, and that means that a few important things are going to happen that you need to know about. The main one being that no security updates are going to be released past that date. So you're not going to get any updates on vulnerabilities in the operating system past that point, which obviously could leave you at risk of future threats. There's also going to be no work on the operating system itself, so there's going to be no feature updates or no development within the capability of the platform there. So some real key information there. It puts you at risk if you don't kind of update. It puts you at risk, and it also puts you behind the curve in terms of the technology trend. So if you want to get ready for the next latest thing, everything's going to be developed on Windows 11 or future operating systems, not on the Windows 10 platform. Just going to hand over to Miles and start to dig into a little bit of what Windows 11 looks like and what might be important to you.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, so Windows 11 is going to come packed full of all new features, but there's just a couple that I'd like to highlight that I think are quite important and are going to benefit our users day to day. So the first new feature that we've got is a newly designed start menu. Previous versions of Windows, start menu was always located on the left-hand side. It'd be quite a traditional list style of menu, whereas now the Windows 11 default, you're going to have a nice menu in the middle of the taskbar. And when you click on the start button, you're going to get a user pane that's going to include your pinned apps and then your recommended apps. We can change this. One of the big driving things with Windows 11 is you can personalize everything. So if you want more pinned apps and less recommendations, you can change that to suit your needs. We'll have an all apps button in that start menu as well to get to your more traditional list style of menu where you can see all the apps that you've got installed. And then at the bottom of the start menu, you'll see an account button and a power button. So everything there is in sort of easy access for us. Another cool widget that we've got coming in is widgets. There were widgets in Windows 10, but they've been more refined now for Windows 11. By default, you'll find the widgets in the bottom left-hand corner of the taskbar. And if you hover over the widgets, you'll get a blade style menu that will appear from the left-hand side of the screen. You can browse things like the weather, the latest news, but again, you can personalize the widgets to suit your style. So you can go and add some pre-installed widgets that come in the operating system, and you can also look in the Microsoft Store for any more that you might like. One of the most useful features I think that's coming to Windows 11 is the ability to snap windows. So snapping is the ability to organize multiple windows within a single screen, especially useful if you're using a large external monitor and you want to dice that, the monitor up into several windows. If you're like me, for example, and you've got tons and tons of windows open and you're having to flick through them all the time, then this feature is really handy. To get snapping to work, you can just click on the window that you'd like to resize, drag it, and then you'll see a bar appear from the top of the screen. Simply hover over the bar and you'll be presented with different layout options, and then just drag the window into the square where you'd like it to go. So you no longer have to manually resize all your windows to fit the screen. And then obviously the biggest feature that's coming is Copilot. Obviously there's a bit of a buzz around Copilot and AI in general. Copilot now comes more integrated into Windows 11 and actually replaces Katana. Copilot is now also available in an app that you can install on Windows 11. In Windows 10, it was available via web access only. And when we say it's more integrated, we mean we can do more things with it. So via the app, we could change system settings if we wanted to. It's also integrated a bit more into the apps like Paint or the snapping tool, the snipping tool. We've got improved performance coming into Windows 11, which you'll feel straight away from day one. A note on that as well, it's only available in 64-bit architecture, so to further support a bit more performance. And we've got tighter security as well. So one of the big requirements for Windows 11 is that you have to be running TPM 2.0. And for everybody wondering what TPM does, it's a feature that's used by things like secure boot or disk encryption to store our cryptographic keys. The harder it is for attackers to get hold of that information means it's harder for them to tamper with things like the boot process, or it's harder for them to access sensitive data that we might have stored on our device. So let's talk upgrade options. So the first upgrade option we have is via Windows Update, and this is the recommended upgrade path from Microsoft. Traditionally, when you're upgrading from, say, Windows 7 to 10 or Windows 7 to Windows 8, you might be thinking you've got to re-image all your machines that are in your environment. That could be very, very time consuming. You'd perhaps spend a lot of time testing, whereas now the upgrade option is as easy as installing a Windows update. We do have the option for a clean install on Windows 11. We can use things like install media. We can use bootable ISO files. And when you do this, you'll be presented with three options. So you have the upgrade option, which will be similar to the Windows update path. You'll then have the keep data only option. So with this option, we can wipe all the apps and the settings, just keep our personal data. And then we have our clean install option where we completely wipe the machine and we install Windows 11 from scratch, a nice fresh install. The other option you might have or might be considering is a hardware refresh, as all new devices are now being shipped with Windows 11 only. If you've got some Windows 11 already in your environment, then this would be a great chance to standardize the Windows version across your business. So things to consider. Obviously, hardware compatibility is going to be a key one. If you're not sure whether your device is compatible, you can install the PC Health Check app from Microsoft, and this will run a check on your device and tell you if you're eligible to upgrade. Again, if you've got a standardized model of laptop across your business, then you can just grab one of those, install the app, and it will tell you if you can upgrade. App compatibility is obviously another key thing that we need to look at. With Windows 11 being built on the same kernel as Windows 10, Microsoft are pretty much guaranteeing that most apps, pretty much 99% of apps, should run on Windows 11, but obviously still good just to test that out. And lastly, you need to consider the technology stack you're using in your environment and how that might look when you're going to be rolling out Windows 11 in bulk. And below there, we've got a visual representation of CAE's three-step plan. So our three-step plan, firstly, will be to assess your environment, because we can't plan without knowing what's in the environment. So knowing what's out there will really help us learn how to approach the upgrade process. Secondly, we want to test. So start by grabbing one machine first, running through the upgrade process to test the behavior so you know what the users are going to expect, and then start to expand that pilot out to people around the business that are willing to upgrade early, but also to provide you with some key feedback, because then that can help with the mass rollout when you get there. And then thirdly, start to phase your upgrade. So for larger organizations, you are going to want to control the rollout of Windows 11. And if you're using a platform like Intune, then this is easily achievable using the update policy feature. But you'll also be able to do this with any other imaging or RMM platform that you might be using. I think we've got a poll, yeah.
We have, yeah, trying something new for us. So you should see a poll pop up on your screens. That'd be really good to get your feedback on that. Oh, I see some answers coming in already. Appreciate that. Thank you. few different responses coming in.
Oh, someone's gone low.
Brilliant. Well, that worked. So that was good for something live. So I'm happy with that. Brilliant.
So there's our answer. So according to a recent study from Canalys, it's reported that nearly 240 million devices are not compatible to upgrade to Windows 11. So one of the key takeaways from this for everybody would be, if you're in a position where you need to do a hardware refresh, if you've got a number of devices that aren't compatible with Windows 11, then we would strongly suggest you get any orders placed as early as possible. The whole world are going through this process, so next year we could see a really high demand for hardware, which could potentially lead to increased lead times on new laptops. We've just published the minimum requirements there for Windows 11 as well. I won't run through all of them, but memory 4 gig of RAM. I think most laptops now are coming packed with 8 gig. We'd strongly recommend running more than 4. And a 1 gigahertz 64-bit processor. I think everybody should be running more than that nowadays. And obviously the key one there, TPM version 2.0.
Yeah, and that's interesting, Miles, right? And obviously there are some slight variant on those numbers there, and you know that certainly vendors would want to push a little bit towards replacing devices, but it's definitely a significant number of devices that are going to need to be refreshed, and I think I echo what you said, Miles. There, we could see, considering we're within 12 months now, periods where it might get some longer lead times for devices, that kind of thing. So how can CA help you? So obviously we've talked about a few things there, and CA can help in a few kind of different ways. Obviously, for those of you that know of us already, you'll know that we're very keen to get in front of you and just to kind of help, even if it's just advise on what you need to think about, those kind of things. But we do have some specific engagements and things that might be able to help you. So we can help you get ready. So assessments, workshops, again, advisory type things, but also assessing what your environment looks like, maybe helping you figure out what that journey is going to look like for you. As Miles mentioned earlier, that really one of those key things is what does your technology stack look like? Have you got Intune in place already? Have you got Autopilot in place already to help you? So if you're bringing in new devices or rolling out the update to existing, have you got a technology stack that's going to help you support that in the right way? And do you need to think about actually deploying some of that technology before you get to that stage, rather than relying on maybe something a bit more legacy? So we've got lots of consultancy engagements, and actually we've got accelerators to do with Intune and Autopilot that we have ready to go, that can get you into those places real quickly, either proof of concept, proof of value wise, or full deployment. We can help you test and kind of roll out pilots and proof of concepts. So if you need to kind of roll those out and you're worried about what your estate's going to look like, or what even adoption is going to look like with your users, we can help with that from a technology side or from a usability side. So we've gone through this process with customers on previous versions a lot before. And obviously we've already gone through a process of rolling this out internally, so we're kind of all ready and geared up to help you there. Again, rollout assistance, so we can kind of help you plan that, but equally we also have an engineering pool and and a project management tool that can help in the delivery and rollout of these kind of projects. So whether that's again with the updating, or whether we're doing a mass hardware rollout where we're doing swap outs, those kind of things, we're geared up and have kind of been there and done that before, and certainly can help either do that with you or help advise you on how you might get the best results and outcomes. And then we have a lot of managed service options, but key in the conversation today, we have a couple of things that might be useful for you. So our configuration center has the ability to image devices pre-delivery and install builds and that kind of stuff, but it also has the ability to do autopilot, white glove, or registration services. So if you do need to do that kind of rollout move and you want devices to be delivered, we can actually help so that they're in as ready state as possible before they're actually shipped out, including having them ready so they can go straight direct to your users. So we can work with you to get your autopilot and that kind of stuff all ready to go. They come into CAE, we kind of build them for you, and we can direct ship them wherever they need to go. So really lighten the load on your internal teams, freeing them up to make sure that the user experience and other things are kind of in place. So I guess just to summarize and kind of give you some key takeaways there. So the biggest thing, we're 12 months away now, so start planning, start thinking about it now. Certainly start testing it and gain confidence with the technology, see how that's kind of looking and feeling for your environment and for the applications and workloads that you've got. Have a look and start to try and identify if you've got a device issue that you need to deal with. Have you got incompatible devices or devices that are coming up just for a refresh cycle, even if they're not incompatible? And do you need to think about some kind of rollout plan, and what does phasing of that sort of look like? Be aware of that demand that we kind of pointed out, which is an opinion of ours, that we may see some peaks and troughs in terms of demand. But really, the key takeaway, I think, from us today is, if you've got some questions and you want some advice, just reach out to us. We're here to talk and have a conversation. I'm quite happy to do so. If we've got questions, if you've got questions that we can answer, we're happy to get in the room. And if we've got stuff that we need to go and find out or go and knock on Microsoft's door for you, we can do that as well. We've got a follow-up and visioning call, which is available to everybody. So please go to the link, and that'll be shared after this as well with the follow-up. So please go and book in a call. That's a call with one of our experts. That could be me, Miles, or one of the wider team. Again, it's there for us to figure out what it is you're trying to do, what are maybe some of your pain points or some of your objectives, and try and help figure out what your right next steps might kind of be. We've left it open for some questions, so we're going to go to those and see if there's anything there that's useful. Yes, it is being recorded, and the recording will be sent out. I'm sure of that. So that was a question that we've just had come in. So yeah, I'm sorry that you joined us late, but yes, I think you can access the recording and see the whole presentation. And as I said, there will be some follow-up videos and information going out as well. Anyway, this is the first one in there, so this one was a little bit high level and was a stop tool for you. There will be some other stuff, but equally I would encourage try and speak to us one-on-one as well, because obviously we can go a lot deeper if we're tailoring that in. How would you recommend rolling Windows 11 out to new devices? So I guess we sort of touched on that earlier. Maybe I'll start, Miles, and then you can either correct me or fill in any gaps that I leave. So I guess there's an answer, which is it probably depends a little bit on what your current environment looks like. So what systems have you got in place? So you might have something legacy there, like build servers or SCCM or those kind of things, and certainly you can build that vanilla or that that kind of task-based build system in, and then use other technologies to kind of go and roll the latest updates on kind of top of that. We actually have in-house a way that we use that, which combines a few technologies because we've got a configuration center. So we tend to do that as a service as well, where we would kind of build Windows 11 as a vanilla and then run Autopilot on top to get everything else on top of that. So I guess the answer for me would be we'd probably work with you to figure out what the best way for you is, because there's probably a couple of technical options. Miles, I don't know if you want to elaborate or if I've overstepped anywhere there.
No, I think that was good. I think personally, I would always like to start at Intune and Autopilot and then work backwards from there. But as you say, I think the key thing is working out what is best for the customer's environment, what their requirements might be. Some customers want to lock down the image a little bit more than others, so it might require an actual image, like a golden image. Others might be a bit more relaxed, and yeah, we can use Autopilot and Intune to kind of fine tune what the Windows 11 install looks like.
Brilliant. Thank you. I think we touched on this a little bit earlier, but maybe we can elaborate. What happens if I don't update to Windows 11? Presumably, that means what happens if I don't update past that, past the window of October next year? That's fine. Miles, do you want to take that
Yeah,
one?
yeah. So obviously the biggest impact that we touched on earlier is you won't receive any security updates, any feature updates. You'll be stuck on the latest feature update, which is 22H2. So your operating system itself won't cease to stop working. It will still work, absolutely fine. But obviously security is a hot topic at the minute, and threats are always emerging and evolving. So you won't be up to date with the latest security patches. You could potentially be leaving yourself vulnerable to an attacker or to being compromised. That's the biggest risk.
Yeah,
Obviously, then
definitely.
users could be missing out on the latest and greatest features as well. Obviously, Windows 11 is really geared around increasing our productivity and our collaboration. So you don't want users to be missing out on those features.
Yeah, I agree. And with the rate of change that we see technology-wise, nowadays, there is certainly a risk of missing out on something new. If you're not on the latest and greatest, obviously that does tend to change quite regularly. Now, on the security side, I mean, the only thing I would say to add to that is that when we see um, big attacks and kind of things like that happen in the news, then you know there's a decent percentage of those happen because there's old technology sitting there that kind of hasn't been patched, and there's a vulnerability kind of sat there that's being exploited. So if you needed a compelling reason to go, security is definitely going to be at the forefront of that. Brilliant. We haven't got any more questions come in, but we will kind of keep on monitoring that. And like I said, that we're here to help advise, and we love just having conversations. So please reach out to us after the fact as well. Book your envisioning call where we can just have a conversation, see where you want to go and what's right for you, and we can start to go a little bit deeper if you've got any more lower level questions. Hopefully there was some insights in there today that were kind of useful. We realized that these things are geared towards multi and they can be high level. Again, we will have some other stuff and are quite happy to talk at a lower level should anyone want to do so. Other than that, I'll say thank you for joining us and giving up your time over lunch, and we appreciate that. And we look forward to seeing you on another video another time. So thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you, everybody.